Okay, so I'd like to ask though, is our current reality a simulation? What do you think?
Huh.
Do we live in a sim?
I've given it a lot of thought, and I decided that it is neither knowable nor consequential.
Yeah, either way, you have one life. That's all you know. But
No, that's real. Expound, please.
Yeah.
Because all right, so we know that one, there are a lot of people way fucking smarter than me or anybody I fucking know.
Yeah.
That do believe that it's very feasible, and there's some that are even convinced.
Yeah.
And of course, even the most brilliant people are gonna have varying levels of kind of what they believe in, what they think like shit is. But a couple of things, like one, we know that like our universe is governed by math.
Yeah.
Like, did we invent math or did we discover math? Like, that's a question that people have been asking.
Yeah.
So ultimately, like when we look at things like the Fibonacci sequence, when we look at these patterns that occur and these laws that we're bound to, it definitely could make sense that there's something computer-like driving this, and I would venture as to say that us
put a link to the
or like
Fibonacci
ancient geometry
sequence
of like
description
shamans and
in
DMT and some of that stuff. You can
Right.
actually take that. You start to see these things
yeah,
happen.
and I've done DMT and I've seen that.
You know what I'm saying? It's like you
yeah.
literally see it in a way. Yeah, for real. But that's the other thing is that there's infinite. Even in our reality now, we have numerous simulations we've created, but one reality.
Right.
So if there's numerous simulations that could have existed, how do we know we're really like the probability that we're in the real world is super duper fucking low.
Yeah.
Right. And that's just how
like-
how reality manifests itself. Like for us to create computers, when I learned how to build PCs, you see so many parallels to just how we as people are. I mean, the PC has like a brain. It's got like these components that work kind of like organs, and they work together to create this. So it's like, even when we created this thing, it's like, I won't say in our own image, but I think it's just in the image of the manifestation of reality itself. So it would make sense that we are in a simulation, and it like my theory on this actually, since I've gotten to that, and it's super simple. I have a theory that it's possible that not only are we in a simulation, but it's procedurally generated. Meaning you can go infinitely outward, infinitely inward, infinitely up, infinitely down. Like not just like from a physical standpoint, but also from like a metaphysical, a conceptual standpoint. So the to tie it into the Matrix, like it could literally just be like their take on that. It's like, okay, like it doesn't matter. Like, okay, you've discovered this Matrix. Like you'll never figure it out because it is infinite. So it'll extend infinitely outward and infinitely inward. All the simulations will have simulations within them. I like the Rick and Morty episode that make fun of that,
bro.
where he's like,
my noodle is big.
they go to the first simulation in Rick and Morty, right? And they find that simulation has created their own simulation, and then like it just keeps going and keeps going. So it's like and especially like. This is like the total like Joe Rogan meme thing. Like, have you ever done DMT? But like, but seriously though, like if you've done DMT,
it comes back to that shit. You'll start to realize like
there's certain states of mind that you can enter that like seem to be real. I'll put it this way: it's really fucking convincing that shit does have there's some sort of infinite property to like this reality, and we're in like a pocket that is defined by whatever time and space. That's our shit.
I remember.
Dimension.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, when you get into levels of dimensions, there's a certain part where like it's every type of Big Bang that we can exist with different types of fundamental laws. So you get into like every other possible parallel dimension might just be that not EMC equals like it can
Right,
be
yeah,
whatever. It
exactly.
be just some other different type of like. Natural,
like what we know as the
makes,
laws of physics could be a different
just
set of laws in
different.
some other reality.
That same stuff. But I kind of find that fascinating when we're talking about like we see it as computer because that's the way we look at things now. Like things go haywire, like a circuit, But back whenever like there's steam engines, you blew a gasket.
Yeah.
You're full of hot air. You're these. You start to look at like these trains were like life, and people identify with technology. So it's going to be in 100 years of whatever else we're dealing with VR. Who fucking even beyond that? They're going to have ways that they see that their reality will make sense within that technology, and there'll be, whether it's a simulation or whatever, you know what I mean?
You know what's crazy? That idea of simulation goes back way before technology, because like Rene Descartes had that whole thing where like you can never truly tell that this is not a simulation, that I'm not like dreaming, or I think his analogy
was about dream
was like,
worlds then.
Yeah,
because
I think his
that
analogy was
what
like a dream world or like a demon possessing you or something.
Isn't there like a fucking parable about like a man who fell asleep in the woods and he dreamed he was a butterfly, but he couldn't tell if the dream of him being a butterfly was the dream or if he was a butterfly having a dream of being a man.
Right. I've heard that one. Yeah, and that's definitely like, I feel like that's been a common theme. Like when you look at Descartes, and then I forget there's a guy that, and I can't think of his name, but there was a guy that like a part of his thing was he acknowledged Descartes and he said, yeah, like there are things that are inherently unknowable, but at the end of the day, like I'm a human having a human experience. Like I can't change that.
I think
like all I know, that's not Descartes though, is it? Or is that Descartes?
I'm not gonna crack and be like, all of a sudden, like.
But yeah, I want to say that's the quote that kind of tied it together to it. It's like I think, therefore I am. It's like, look, I know that.
Who said that?
I think that's
I think, therefore I am.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
Descartes.
Yeah, you're still not gonna jump off a building and be like, I can fly like Neo. I just see past it. You're like, no, you have, as far as I can tell, I have one chance in this one. If it's a simulation, I got one chance in this game. It's no like, whatever, the day after tomorrow.
And so
like,
most people are so afraid to
Tom
jump
Cruise
off
shit.
of the building
Hell
to
yeah.
fly.
Yeah,
that they do
or
not
knowing
fly.
that there's like a morality, even if it's like, that there's still repercussions in this world. So why fuck with it? Even if I was in a video, if I was like, here's a video game, you have one choice. Well, I'm not just gonna start off by just shooting myself in the face. Like I'm gonna see what's up until I play the end of the game.
I can take shots to the face.
Like if like, and then you're over and you stop playing. Even if you just know you're playing a game, you're still gonna like try not to let it end.
Right.
And then humans will do anything to try to stop their shit from ending, even if it was
the fear of our own mortality.
Yeah.
But so I guess ultimately what I'm saying is this movie an example of the infinite reality that Apollo was talking about, where we just are unable to.
This new Matrix. You're saying the new Matrix?
Yeah.
Well,
yes,
it was always
back into like, is there an infinite reality? What you were talking about?
Yeah, like I think that's what they're getting at. Like it always was. Like there was never. It was never limited to what they saw. They just saw that.
They were just in that pocket universe that this happened, but there was always another magnitude deeper or another magnitude inward.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why quantum physics, they've yet to really line that up with the EMC's equals. When you get to like quantum particles, it starts to break down the laws of physics in a way where like it treats differently than some of the astronomical scales that like Einstein was talking about.
Explain.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think that relativity works the same way. Once you get down small enough, it changes.
Okay.
So that's all. Really
I know there's a lot of things in quantum physics that like.
Yeah, all of a sudden it doesn't work the same way, but it should. Yeah.
Yeah, I've really gotten into that. I like Sean Carroll's podcast,
Minefield.
Yeah, it's
Can you
pretty
find
dope.
It? We'll put a link. In
But that's
the
also a thing
description.
where like they're thinking in the future we're less likely to keep exploring other worlds unless we'd like literally just exhaust energy here or whatever. But there's infinite worlds we can go digitally or inside of. So like, why would we necessarily go try to find other stars?
Bro, this is why I.
Because you can create any other parallel.
This is why I believe in aliens and I don't believe in God.
But that was the question. Okay, so that was one thing I was going to ask him about, because you were talking about like you were saying there's always smarter people and all these things. But I keep thinking about like we're 1% like genetically stronger than like our ape cousins, and they have no idea they're in zoos,
bro.
But then you get 1% stronger, like, and they're like aliens that probably have us.
I said this to my bro once.
You know what I mean?
I said this to my bro once. He was like, "Do you believe in aliens?" I was like, "Yeah, bro." He was like, "Why?" I was like, "We're not even the dopest thing on this planet.
We're all planet.
We're not even the dopest thing on this planet."
Yeah.
He was like, "How do you figure that we're not?" I was like, "We can't live on most of it."
Right.
Well, and you have like fungus, like there's like a fungus that reaches like the whole state of Nebraska. Like it's insane.
I'm not even talking
like,
about fungus, right?
No, but I mean, I'm just saying like other organisms.
Superorganisms.
We can't live
they're
in the
just super.
we can't live in the ocean
Yeah.
We're not like tardigrades.
We can't even go down below a few hundred feet without and like expect to come back.
Bro,
without
I saw this one video. I think it was on fucking Animal Planet. This lady was talking about I was swimming out with the whales. I saw a fucking orca. I started touching it. It clearly let me know that it did not want to be petted. And she kept petting the motherfucker. And he bit her on the foot. Drug her down into the depths of the ocean.
Shit.
And just as she was about to die, he fucking took her back up to the top and then let her go and then swam away as if to say, fuck around, find out.
But
yeah. That makes you think of some like various alien sighting type stuff where the aliens actually showed up. It was in New Zealand, I think, or maybe it was Africa somewhere, but I forget. But basically, the aliens dropped down in like a playground, and all these kids, were like basically just they end up finding that like a lot of these alien sightings were like around innocent people and various things where they were like they didn't even talk, but they knew like these kids were like. I just knew that I knew that we were destroying the planet. I knew that we were basically saying they were giving all these kids had these messages like you're destroying the planet. You guys have to stop. And they were like just kids that never been told about climate change or anything like that. It was just like super wild.
This is my thing though. If aliens were gonna do that, why the fuck are they dropping down in Africa, not in these corporations that are dropping this shit in Africa?
Innocent. There's a certain amount of like innocence or a certain amount of like I think you probably block your mind.
Wait. Maybe they don't have phones or something.
Y'all are I think about it like this, right?
Okay.
We as people, throughout our history, as human beings, have gone to other continents, fucked around with the locals, and like taken their shit.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's been true for our entire history as a species.
It's like human history in a nutshell.
Mm-hmm. So like, why wouldn't that also be true of somebody else? We do that shit on our own planet.
Right.